Welcome everyone. Matthew Paddy here, creator of the Practitioner Leadership Academy and founder of the New Earth Abundance Movement. And I am super excited to have the epic, very talented Jemimah Ashleigh here with us today. How are you doing, Jemimah?
Hi, Matt. Really excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, fantastic. Really good. Now, we've had a couple of conversations over the last couple of weeks. And during those conversations, I've gotten to know more about what you do, that level of impact, and that let's say, that epicness that you bring to a marketplace. So let me just do a little cavalier intro about you, so that those people watching this interview can really appreciate the value that we're about to unpack together.
Right, you're building me up here a lot, Matt. I like it.
Well, like I said, you're my absolute fabulous last guest on my agenda today, and I really want to hit a home run with you as well.
So, all right, let's do it.
So here we go. So Jemimah is one of Australia's leading entrepreneurs, having built 3 successful businesses from scratch. She is highly sought after as a business consultant, mentor, speaker, and will be releasing her first book in 2018, which will be super exciting. Can't wait to read that. Additionally, Jemimah is the creative director of Tangs Design and is the social media practitioner. It's no wonder Jemimah was named one of Australia's top female entrepreneurs by My Entrepreneur magazine and a woman to watch in 2018. Wow, that's quite a bio. That's quite an intro piece, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It always catches me off guard when people read that. I'm like, oh yeah, I did all of that. That's true.
Yeah, pat on the back, celebrate.
Thank you.
It's good. So, let's enrich the audience with as much content and value as possible, and I know that is going to happen with you today. So let's start with a couple of questions. The first one was really, you started in law enforcement, having been working in entrepreneurship for the past 2 years. How have you managed to achieve what you have in such a short period of time?
Yeah, it's a question I get frequently. People are like, what? You've only been doing this 2 years. How did you do this? Very good question. So I did work in law enforcement for 10 years, and I've only been in sort of working for myself for the last 2 years. I worked all around the world in law enforcement, loved my job for a long time. And then found when I was about 30 years old, I was really tired in that sense of not like a nap isn't going to cut it today, right? It was actually quite just absolutely soul exhaustion. And I had a chance encounter with a silversmith in New York City and sort of changed my entire life. I had started doing improv classes and started doing comedy, and I'd gone from this really regimented kind of career where it's really, your life is really compartmentalized, because you've got your work, which you can't talk about outside of work hours. Then you've got your home life, and that can't ever bleed into your work life. And then you've got your social life. And I really started finding creative things in about 2012, and fell in love with improv and started meeting people who were doing creative careers. And I met a silversmith while I was in Manhattan. So it was incredible. It was so amazing. Started a little business, and everything kind of escalated really quickly after that.
So you still have Tangs Design, right? And I understand that you're in a lot of outlets throughout Australia right now.
So Tangs Design still exists. It's my, it's kind of just a small jewelry brand. It started with sort of silversmithing beautiful kind of custom pieces, and then really figured out how to make it more affordable and more custom and really bespoke stuff. So I'm based in Canberra, Australia, where everyone's from government. So everyone needed, to still have their personality, but still had to be in corporate. So found this kind of beautiful blend, and we sort of found a home in the Australian market. So that's still around now. We have something about 50 locations now stock us, and it's still happening. And it's just my little kind of, it's sort of my passion project that just happened to make money, which is pretty great too. So it's so my favorite thing to do. Because I can make jewelry and do things like binge on Netflix, and it's fine.
as we do. In reading through your bio, it's quite a compelling statement as to what you stand for. You know, you make it very clear that there are 97% thereabouts of, female entrepreneurs don't fail in the first couple of years because of lacking ideas or the motivation. They fail because of what? Well,
burnout, straight up
yeah.
burnout. I think this is sort of my war cry for the last couple of years. I understand. I've fallen victim to this multiple times, and I think people do. So the statistics are at the moment that 95% of men fail in the first 5 years, and 97% of women fail in the first 5 years. And that's sort of the startup entrepreneurial businesses. And the statistic is an interesting one because it does take into all sorts of businesses. So it can be, an actual, it can be an MLM business, or it can be bricks and mortar, one down the street. So this is across the board. There's no one business that's targeted here. Women are failing at twice the rate. While it doesn't sound like a big difference, 97 and 95, women are failing at twice the rate. And I think my working theory is, and no one's been able to disprove it yet, women for the most part, and this is a huge generalization, so shout out to the dudes out there who are stepping their game up, women generally have more home responsibilities.
Yes.
So we have most of the groceries, and we have most of the childcare, and most of the cooking, and most of the cleaning. And the thing is, with businesses, they take about 2 years before you can even start to see a profit. So effectively, women are starting businesses like, I've got this, and they've got great ideas, and they've got the work ethic, and they've got the tools, and they've got the communication skills, and they're more likely to go and network. They're more likely to sign up to the courses. But what's happening is after 12, 18 months, they're seeing no return on this amount of time and energy. Something's got to give. And it's always the business that takes a hit.
Right. I see. And well, it sort of leads to that question is, from the time you've spent in business, and I'm sure, like many of us, you've had some times at the top of the mountain and some times in valley of the death as well, but you're still climbing and you're still working at it. What advice would you give to those entrepreneurs out there that are just starting on their journey? What would you advise them?
How much time have we got? How long did you want me to record for today? There are so many pieces to this puzzle of entrepreneurship that people don't realize.
Yeah.
This is really how my my entrepreneur career started. Was I had started a business, and anyone that listens to my bio or reads my bio sort of recognizes this straight away. I'm a classic overachiever. Really, really quickly, just straight off the bat, I am. And one of the things I did when I started this little jewelry business and left this, fairly epic career, I ended up throwing myself into as much about business as I could. I read every article, I listened to every podcast, I downloaded as much as I could, I went to seminars, I became that like seminar junkie person, learning as much as I could. And then I found really quickly that a lot of people didn't really give good advice about business. And that only took me about 3 or 4 months to figure out. So, and I get that there are some people out there now who are, literally selling snake oil as a good business practice.
Yeah.
And what actually broke me was an article that was written by a sort of pop culture kind of magazine, and I had gotten tagged in it, and I assume my friend hadn't read it, because if they did, I hope they didn't think this was actually good business advice. But the article was called How to Get Ahead in Business in 10 Easy Steps, and 2 of the steps, and I wish I was making this up, but I'm not. One of the steps was eat an apple every day, and one of the steps was do yoga. Right. Let me be clear, I'm very pro yoga and I'm pro eating healthy, but none of that actually helps people get ahead in business. So in my Be the Change You Seek in the World movement, I started a podcast series called The Business Experiment. And the business experiment really spoke about, people starting up businesses and not really having an end goal in mind and not really knowing where it was going to go. And that was the whole thing. Like, I just started a business. Let's talk about it with my girlfriend, Siobhan Joyce. And that wrapped up after 18 months when we sort of really felt like we'd nailed the subject. So each one of those episodes really is kind of this nugget of information. Sort of the 3 big key ones I would say to people is be very mindful where you put your money first off. And if you are you probably do need to get a business coach. I'll be the first one to say that. And the reason for that is you need to get advice on how to do it. but you need to seek advice from people who have already done it.
Yes.
So if you're a business person, the first question you should be asking if you're looking at getting a business coach is, what have you actually achieved and how much money do you have in the bank? And if people are not willing to give you the answer to that, do not invest any cash with them whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
I am never offended if someone says to me before I hire you, how much are you an hour? Right, what makes you worth that amount of money? I've done two years of really doing hard work for this.
Yes.
And it's not been easy, but at the same time, I've made a lot of mistakes, and those are what really make good business coaches. The second bit of advice that I would give, and this is something, you and I, Matt, we met at a networking event with some of the best people in the room, with Michael Griffiths. So my second absolute stellar piece of advice is your network is your net worth.
Yes.
If you have a terrible network, it's going to be very hard for you to make money. And let me be very clear when I say, I hear a lot of people who say, and you probably would too, Matt, I don't know any great entrepreneurs, so how can I be a good entrepreneur? I didn't know any entrepreneur when I started my business. I worked in law enforcement, damn it. Like, I knew no one. Everyone was crazy. But what really became very apparent very quickly was that I didn't need to physically have the person in the room to learn from them. My first mentor was Gary Vaynerchuk, who has, $20 million to his name and, probably 5 million followers per day on Instagram. So it's, you don't have to necessarily have that person in the room. You just have to have someone in your corner, and your mentors and the people, your 5 people, can be someone that's on the computer or in your phone or on YouTube. That's actually okay.
Yeah, fantastic advice. And so that's the thing that I've learned too, being 25 years in business and an overachiever like you, we don't tend to pat ourselves on the back all that often. It's like we've ticked that box. There's a new milestone to achieve and a new altitude to climb to. But shortcutting the process, why would anyone want to draw out the process and the pain of growing a business to profit and I guess realization of the enjoyment of
and I think one of the things that really holds true to me is I know every aspect of my businesses, Jemimah Ashleigh being a brand and also Tangs Design, and I knew every step of the podcasting process. I knew how to record, I knew how to edit sound, I knew how to find a new voiceover artist, I knew how to do every part of it. It doesn't mean that's where you should be spending your time. And I think entrepreneurs, especially in the startup phase, can get a little stuck on this idea of you don't have to do it all. And you can actually outsource. I've got some classic examples of time that I wasted, spending 4 or 5 hours trying to figure out something, outsourcing it to like Fiverr and getting it, 3 minutes back, like 3 minutes later, it's back in my box for $5.
Yes.
Like, oh my God, how much is your time worth an hour? Yeah. And it's a legitimate question. And I think particularly in this market at the moment, we're seeing this rise of the faux entrepreneur. Things like Instagram and Facebook have made it very easy to look like you're an entrepreneur.
Yes.
It has made it very easy to fake it. And to really look like you've got this jet style lifestyle. I read about a place in Los Angeles that are renting private planes by the hour and a photographer. So you can actually just go and do a full photo shoot, but you never leave the airport. Like, it's just parked on the runway and you do a photo shoot in there. And people are spending money doing this. This is, your business is won in 5 a.m. Your business will be won in sweatpants and in, the 14th cup of coffee for the day. It'll be won doing another trip interstate and doing another another speaking gig or another interview, after your 100th one for that week. This is what your business is won. It's not one doing social media posts on Instagram. It's a lot of work and people don't realize that going in. Yes.
And I think, a lot of experience has taught you and me and countless others that are really, strapping rockets to our thighs and moving markets is to focus on one thing. And that's the energy that I get from you as well, is be good at one thing. You started with your jewelry and then into your podcast, and you reached the must listen to podcasts list of the year, that sort of thing, wasn't it? And
yeah.
so having that detailed one thing, what sort of advice or tips would you offer around building that vision for those female entrepreneurs, those startups, or even the mid-tier? They're a year or two into it, and they might be feeling a bit floundering, you know?
Yeah, that's the real it's a real interesting point. I love engaging with people who are like 1 to 2 years in business, because it's starting to figure out the pain points now that this 18-hour day, every day, 7 days a week isn't as much fun as it looks on Instagram. So they're actually ready to really kind of make it easier on themselves. Sort of the advice that I would give sort of anyone, you know, I'm pro, you know, taking design started as a passion project, and it really was, it felt effortless. It didn't feel like a business. It didn't feel like it was difficult. It didn't feel like it was going to be hard work. It felt fun. I liked building the website. It was these sorts of things that were sort of surprising to me, I guess. And we got a really, really good product. Like we really fine-tuned it, and we made sure that we did it well, because you can half-ass 100 things, or you can do 2 things really, really well. Do them well.
Yes. Yeah.
And if you are doing something very well, don't be ashamed of doing that well. If you're very good at podcasting, do a podcast. If you're a very good speaker, learn how to speak.
Yes.
Don't just you hate. Like, just stop doing stuff you don't want to do anymore. I hate, oh my God, my absolute bugbear in my household. I hate going to the supermarket. Hate it. Worst thing in the world. So I have an agreement with my husband. Either he goes or I get it delivered online, because I always inevitably go. There's always 14 children having tantrums, and I always like forgetting the one thing I need. So what is the point? You know, don't do stuff you don't want to do. Where's your time best spent? And it can be the household stuff. It can be, you know, outsourcing, getting a cleaner. If that's what you hate doing, you've got to spend time building your business. You can't do everything. You can do anything you want. You just can't do everything.
Yes, well said. So well said. Because there is, I guess, from the female entrepreneur side, there is that bugbear a little bit that, am I going to feel guilty if I'm outsourcing the things that, you know, mum did growing up, or that I feel that the archetype of the mum or the wife or whatever partner is wired to doing, which is all absolute BS.
Yeah, we had a cleaner. I would say, like, I've lived with my husband now we've only been married a short time, but we've been living together for about 5 years now. And it took him a little while to put the ring on it, I guess. But we had a cleaner, and I would say for probably almost a year before he found out about it. So, I mean,
that's classic.
I never said I cleaned the house. It was just always done. And that was just because my time wasn't spent. We have a 3-bedroom house. We have a huge house, a big garden. We have a cat that has massive amounts of like fur shed every single day. I can't believe my cat's not bald. I also lose hair like an insane amount as well. So I was sort of looking around this house going, this is going to take me 3 hours. That's effectively $400 for me to clean my own house, or I can outsource it for $100. I don't feel bad about it. My time is better spent working at doing my job. It's almost the same as me, you know, and I think women really get caught into this, and there are a lot of men out there that do as well. I don't want to just discredit men here, but women are failing at twice the rate. Women really do feel, you know, that guilt about not being that person, but, you know, the times are changing. We're not stay-at-home moms anymore. We don't have the husband who goes off to work to make the money. Women are earning more and more money each year. We're starting to slowly catch up. And apparently in the next 40 years, we'll completely caught up. So slowly.
Well, there's a quantum shift with it all. And it does start with, you know, Simon Sinek sort of says, you know, it starts with the why, but something tells me that there's an alternative game plan that you utilize or that you employ with your clients. So how would you start with someone?
So the first thing that, you know, I definitely have to start with why, because if you're doing this to make money, you're in the wrong game. Like, you are just, there's so many people like, oh, I'm going to be a millionaire. I'm going to be an entrepreneur. I'm like, you are a fool if you think that's true, because, you know, it takes 10 years to be that overnight success that you see on TV. And like those years are not fun, my friend. That's sweatpants and coffee and, you know, lots and lots of working and writing articles and begging people to help you. So the first place that I always start with people is figuring out their why. So why do you want to do this? And that is often really, really closely linked with the important part of what makes you unique in this space of whatever you're doing. So, you know, the first thing I would want to find out is, you know, why are you doing what you're doing? So for me, my why is this 97%. That I just think we're failing at twice the rate, and I just want to impart some of the knowledge that I have to people about this. But the thing that makes me different, and one of the key things that makes me different, is that I've done it in an authentic way. All I've done is tell the truth about who I am and what I'm about. That has led me to authentic success. I've never really had to promote myself too heavily. It's been something new and fresh, that there's not the same old tired quotes that people have heard before. Yeah. And it is I only work collaboratively. I don't work in competition with people. I've never been about competition. So this is something new. So what's your unique voice here? So first your why, also what's your unique offering? If you were going to ring me and say, I've invented a new app, Jay, I thought you might want to invest in it. And I say, okay, all right, Matt, what does it do? And you say, it's so good. You just push buttons on your phone and a car comes to get you, but it's like a private driver, right? I'd be like, so it's Uber. And you'll be like, no, it's something different, but it's the same. Like, so many people want to do something just a tiny bit different. Like, what are you bringing to a market? It's already very cluttered. Figure out your unique space in that.
Nice one. So in wrapping up, what's one big gumdrop that you would like to leave listeners with?
My favorite thing, this is the one thing that so many people ask me about, and it's about people are doubting what I can do. And the symptomology is, you know, I want to leave law enforcement and go and make jewelry. And people say, no one believes in it. No one believes what I'm going to do. Here's the thing. It doesn't really matter what they think. It matters what you think. And we can get really caught into trusting and wanting to believe what other people are telling us. And we want approval from other people. You're not going to get it. Let me be very clear on this. If you're trying to do entrepreneurship, there are a lot of people who will be scared for you. And there will be other people who just actually tear you down for the sake of tearing you down. So be mindful of those people because they exist. But more importantly, you can spend time. This is the big one. You can spend a lot of time explaining to them why you're right and why this is a good thing for you and why this is, you know, makes your heart sing. It's the best thing you've ever done. And these conversations can go for weeks. Your time is better spent doing your job. One of you is right. It's really that simple. One of you is like absolutely correct in this situation. You should have done it or you shouldn't have. But you spending time out of your business justifying your shit to somebody else, not going to make you get any more successful, not going to get you any further in your career. Stop trying to explain your shit to other people and just get your job done. Do your job every day. It's going to suck. It's an uphill climb. It is. It's all of those things, but it's the best thing you'll ever do.
It's so good. So good. Milking truth from the source. It's gold.
Yeah. I've made all of the mistakes, so I know. And, you know, I used to spend a lot of time. You probably did too. And people would be like, oh, what are you doing with your life? Oh, really? I thought you were doing such and such before. Oh, explain that to me. And someone said that to me once. Can you explain to me how you've left law enforcement? And I was like, no, I'm not my job to justify my shit to you. Get my job done.
Yeah, it's such the truth. I call it the 3 Fs. So when you're doing venture capital raising, it's the friends, family, and the fools that do the first round investing. But it's the same with marketing and trying to justify your position. Don't spend time with friends, family, and fools that don't vibrate, assimilate, align with where you're going.
And those
really
people, well, it is, and it's really hard. This goes back to your network, right? Like if you don't have those people around you that are vibrating at the same level or wanting to be in the same position that you're at, and I know most of your listeners will understand this vibration concept, but you know, at the same time, it really comes down to it just aligning with your kind of dreams and wanting more for yourself. As soon as you start to buck any trend or buck what society tells you to do, the 9 to 5, you will have armies of people queuing to tell you that they can't do it. You can't do it. And I can guarantee you that not one of those people has ever tried to do it before. They've all just knelt into this 9 to 5 and be like, no, this is what we do. This is what we're born to do. I will die doing this. Yeah. And every other entrepreneur or the other visionary who's figured out 9 to 5 isn't the only way will be cheering you on.
Yeah, there's risk in leaving slavery. So that brings up a whole lot of crap for other people. So one powerful thing that I've found is that when people give a crap, they actually just want to know that you're happy. So be happy as an entrepreneur. Like actually, you are free. You have more freedom than you are giving yourself permission to explore and realize.
Yeah, and be smart about how you're working as well. We see burnout rates are ridiculous. Like I think women do burn out, because we have so many other competing priorities. I've seen a lot of men burn out too, but be smart about how you work. Matt, are there any times in the day that you're not very good at working?
Yeah.
Are there any hours that, I cannot, I'm useless, honestly. I would not put pen to paper, big things, big ideas, like, interviews, conversations, coffee dates. This is my time between 12 and 4. I'm not good. You give me a pen between 5 and 10 a.m. I've got you. I've written you your book. I've got you sorted. You give me something, something to do after 5 p.m. Let's go. I'm here till midnight, but middle of the day. And, there's no point in me fighting that.
Yes, totally. And that's, some people might call it circadian rhythms, but it is working to your genius. And that is where are you most inspired, most alight, and most aligned. I love that. So I'm going to give all of my work to you. You're hired for 5 a.m. in the morning. And I know I will be a lot happier with that. That's fantastic.
Businesses are won at 5 a.m. I know it sounds so cliche, but they just are.
Yes.
If you can get, like you see all these people rocking in at 9 a.m. to their job and you've done all of your work already, best feeling in the world. You need to take some time off. You need to have a nap. Go and do it. Don't be held back by what everyone else tells you should be doing.
Absolutely. Freedom in those words, Jemimah. Freedom in those words. Love it. So, well, thank you so much for all of those bombs, those just genius-filled information. If anyone would like to connect with you, what's the best way they can do that?
Yeah, so my website is jemimahashleigh.com, and you can also find me on LinkedIn, Instagram, and on Facebook as Jemimah Ashleigh Positioning Expert.
Fantastic. And somewhere around this page or this video, I'll have Jemimah's details as well, so that you can get into a good conversation with Jemimah, and she can break break the binds and help you open your feminine spirit as well. Succeed in business.
Yeah. See you guys at 5 a.m. I'm down. Let's go.
Beautiful. 5 a.m. club. Love it. Big love. Take care. Thanks.
Thank you so much.
See you soon. Bye.